show about how much, and Andrew, why don't you talk about this for just a second before we go to our email, that the dating world, you say, has changed more in the last 10 years.
That's right. Well, I think since the internet's exploded, you get things like Facebook, email, texting, all those things. It's changed more in the last 10 years than probably in the previous 50. That things like the old-fashioned phone call, going out on an actual date, all those things just occur much less frequently. People first look to going on their social site or whatever, hanging out with a group of friends. It's totally changed.
And you don't know because nobody's face-to-face, right? They're texting all the time.
Communication.
I'm a phone guy, but it's like people under a certain age, they text and email so much till it becomes more a matter of how many texts and emails you get from someone to determine if they like you.
That's the quality of your
Like,
relationship.
oh, she texted me 50 times a day. She really likes me, as opposed to she texted me 3 times. She's
and are
trying
we
to
really
dismiss me.
getting to know each other through technology? Can you possibly do that?
They've done studies actually that people have this false sense of intimacy, that they feel like they know each other really well, and then when they meet each other, they're like, that's not the person I thought I knew.
Isn't
That
that
it's this
interesting?
false
It
sense.
makes it a bit tougher because people do research on you online, right? Now, whether you've got a public profile or not, people have these Facebook.
They've Googled you.
Then they Google you and they look at your Facebook and they do all of this research, so they sort of have all this information on you before you even meet them. So I think it's tougher dating now than ever.
Well, also, you realize in this space of replying, you have time to edit. You know, like you're about to say that. Wait a minute.
Delete.
Right. You throw an LOL. If you don't throw the LOL on, they're like, you're not joking. You're like,
you're right.
you know, sarcasm doesn't translate well over
Speaking of
text.
emails, let's take an email. All right, this is Christina. She's from Chicago, Illinois. Do guys really like the chase? Is it important to play hard to get, or do some guys give up or want their girls to be more obvious regarding their interest? There are a lot of women who play that role, like they don't call you back and you are wondering what's going on. Is that the right way to play?
It's a delicate balance. You don't want to play it so hard till the guy assumes that you're not interested. But, you know, it has to be a bit of a chase.
Guys love the chase.
Yeah.
Let's be straight up. I mean, we do.
It's funny. Researchers have found that men like women who are choosy but not choosy about them. In other words, you give the man you like the impression that he's part of the charm circle. You've already chosen him, but you give him the impression that everyone else you're
but
very
if you're available
picky.
all the time, do guys get bored?
Yeah, well, I think some men like to feel like they are hunters. They like to actually channel that inner hunter. Myself personally, I'm more of a, I like my meat already cut up in the supermarket. So I'm lazy. I don't want to do the work. I'm sorry. You know, I want to know if you like me. I want to know where we stand.
I think we
and
all
that's
get the
it.
chase thing, but how can we know that after you get us, you're going to want to keep us?
That's
our big
That is a big
concern.
Well, guys like women who like them. It's like you can have the finest woman, and if she keeps saying no, you're going to go to the next finest woman who says yes.
But when you get the person,
Well, I
when
think
the
both
chase
guys
is all
and
over.
guys and girls have to keep each other interested. So if you know there's nothing else interesting you, then it's gone.
You know what? Happily ever after has ruined all of us. It's like we think that happily ever after means we get the person and the work is over. The work is just beginning. It's like you have to keep doing the types of things. You got a person to keep a person.
Once you get there, you realize it's not happily ever after. You're lucky if you get happily ever afternoon.
All right, let's go to our. We have
Sad but
Skype.
true.
Look how
We are so
high-tech we
Skypey.
are. This is Jennifer. Jennifer, we hope you're there from Raleigh, North Carolina. Hey, Jennifer, go ahead.
Hey, that's what I just always wondered, why guys feel the need to alienate their girlfriends when they're with their friends.
Ah, that's a good
when the
question.
friends come along, the dynamic
Yeah,
changes.
the girlfriend is
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I think that's a sign of maturity when you're more interested in being cool to your boys than you are to your woman. Because as a married man, I spend more time with my wife than with any other person in the world. Like, when I went to take my wife home, my family was like, don't worry about whether we like her, because you see us 5 times a year if we lucky.
You're going to see her a whole lot.
But I
that
think
is
it's
a
kind of
sign of-
interesting.
I'm sorry.
I think it's kind of interesting to see how that girl works in your social circle, right? So it's not throw her out and see if she sinks or swims, but see how she interacts with your friends and see whether she's going to fit in.
Yeah, but should your personality change when the boys come along?
That's
That
what
goes to
happens.
maturity.
He hasn't grown up enough to have a personality that works for both men and women.
So if he's doing that in answer to her question, she needs to wait for him to grow up a
Right,
little
he's
bit.
got to grow up a little more, you know. And a lot of times, the reason why men do that is because that personality that you're seeing with that guy, that is his personality.
Right.
That's who he is.
Right.
He's
real
like
one.
that
Real
most
him.
of the time.
Yeah, that's okay.
You're the one who's changed him.
we're gonna go on.
You're the one who's changed
It's
him.
always our fault.
Okay, this is good. This is an email from Shelley. Is it okay for a married man to take out his single coworker for lunch all the time. Signed, Worried Wife.
She should be worried.
Yeah.
Anytime, all the time.
What about even some of
Yeah,
the time?
it's-
Forget all the time. Some of the time.
Some of the time is different than all of the time. But the other thing is that you can't keep, as a married man, you can't keep putting yourself in the line of fire.
No man
You
can
know.
take hot coals into his bosom and his clothes not be burned.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So in other words, the single coworker is a hot coal. So don't put
Something's
up in
going to
your
get sizzled.
Something's gonna get
Is it ever okay for a married man and a single woman to have wine in, I don't know,
You know,
3
once in a
o'clock?
while, and then, but you should also invite your partner, right?
Right.
Once in a while. Like, I don't.
And
you know,
all the time is the problem.
Yeah,
all the time means this guy has an ulterior motive.
Right.
And when we were talking earlier, when we got this question earlier, I told the guys, I said, I used to go out with a coworker all the time. And the reason why we went to lunch all the time is because we would stop at my apartment on the way back to work and do it. So
He wasn't married.
wasn't married.
God,
wasn't
Some
married.
people still think that's wrong. We're going to take another break.
Best
right?
lunches I ever
Yes, we
had.
are.
But we're going to be back with Sarah and more questions from the crowd across the street. Stay with us.
Fruit. We all know it's good for us, but most of us find it hard to get as much as we need or want. Try Del Monte Fruit Natural.